in the right frame of mind is something nobody can trade with. Of course, money can buy that. It is better you. You're welcome. I am Jane Izo. The issue of mental health has become a thing of concern in not just Nigeria, all over the world. And some people decide to gather in a forum to talk about it. Of course, Better You was there and we're bringing it to you now.
Mental health is a vital aspect of our overall well-being, yet it remains a topic shrouded in stigma and silence. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, the importance of mental health and its impact on individuals, families, and communities remains critical. Mental health affects everyone, either directly or indirectly. And according to the World Health Organization, 1 in 4 people will experience a mental health issue every year. The consequences can be far-reaching, impacting relationships, work performance, and overall quality of life. By understanding the signs and symptoms of mental health issues, we can better support ourselves and those around us. Despite progress in recent years, mental health stigma remains a significant barrier to seeking help. Many people fear being judged, labeled, or ostracized, leading them to suffer in silence. This can be extremely detrimental. It is for these reasons and many others that Olive Prime Adventurer, a mental health group based in Abuja, decided to launch a mental well-being center for women.
Distinguished guests, it is with immense pride and heartfelt gratitude that I welcome you all to this historic occasion, the official launching of Nigeria's first women-only center for medical health and drug rehabilitation services,
where they can seek and get the required attention in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. So far, they say it is the first of its kind in Nigeria. Seeking help for mental health issues can be a daunting task, but it is often the first step towards recovery. From therapy and counseling to medication and support groups, there are various treatment options available. It is essential to prioritize self-care and stress management all through. Mental health is a journey, and recovery is possible. By sharing stories of hope and resilience, we can inspire others to seek help and prioritize their mental well-being.
And there is a strong relationship between physical health and mental well-being. And in fact, bi-directional. If the physical health is not okay, the mental health will definitely not be okay. And if the mental health suffers, the physical health of the woman will also suffer. Also, because the quality of life of women matters a lot.
It is essential to observe, support, inspire, and create safe spaces, as well as encourage treatment and management for everyone in our community, especially as seeking help for mental health should be supported as a sign of strength and not the opposite. Let us continue to be our brother's keeper and say no always to any signs or impression of stigma.
We commission Olive Prime Adventuring for the good of humanity and to the glory of God. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Welcome back. It's time for us to have a chat with our guest, Oluwatoyin Ogunkomi. She is a family psychologist. She's here to give us tips on how to guard our mental health. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, I want to start with you telling us of how important it is to guard our mental health.
Okay, so when we talk of mental health is a state of well-being whereby an individual is able to realize his abilities. Person can think well, person can feel right, person can act right, and the person is also able to carry out his daily activities. The person is able to be productive in the society, and the person can function in terms of relationship. So when we talk of mental health encompasses everything. So one of the things we say is that good health or excellent health without mental health is no health. So mental health is very important to every aspect of your lives, in terms of the way you function daily, in terms of your relationship with people, in terms of your daily activities, and in terms of how you contribute to the society. That's what mental health is all about.
All right, now a lot of people when you say mental health, they'll just think it's mad person. So how does mental health affect people?
So like I said, mental health is a state of well-being, and mental health is on a spectrum, meaning that you have excellent mental health all the way to mental disorder. And when someone has a mental disorder, that's when we say the person is not thinking right, the person is not feeling right, or the person is not acting right. And these things also affect the person's functioning, daily functioning. So most times you hear people throw the word my mental health, right? But when they throw the word my mental health, most of them don't really understand what mental health is.
And that's why we're here, of course.
Absolutely. And like I said, it's a state of well-being that helps us to realize our abilities and our potential.
Okay, so what causes mental health?
Okay, so there's so many different things. So we call them there's so many different things that can cause a mental disorder. So when we talk of mental disorder, it could be genetic. Some people are genetically predisposed to having a mental disease, meaning that it's in their lineage, it's in their gene. I don't know what tribe are you?
Ijo.
Ijo. Okay, so I'm Yoruba. So one of the things we do in my tribe is that before the wife or before the husband get married, the family members will always go to the spouse's house to ask questions. I hope there is no madness in the family, but that was actually a native intelligence, but it's actually true.
Yeah.
So some people are they are genetically predisposed to having a mental disorder. Some people, due to stress, maybe they've gone through a traumatic experience, maybe they've lost someone, they've lost money, they've lost a job, that can also affect the person's mental health. Then if the person has gone through a traumatic experience in terms of sexually being abused, or emotional abuse, or physical abuse, the person is predisposed to mental disorder. Then we also have those that take substances, marijuana, any form of substance. They are also predisposed to having a mental disorder. So there are about 4 predisposing factors: genetics, biological, in terms of the chemistry in the brain, if the neurotransmitters and if they're not enough, they can also cause a mental disorder. Environmental factor: a person has gone through one stressful experience, either a person has lost his job or lost someone, or a person has gone through a traumatic experience. Also in terms of abuse, how the person was raised. Was the person raised in a home that there was sexual abuse, there was physical abuse or emotional abuse? These are factors that can also contribute to one having a mental disorder.
How about during childbirth for women?
Okay, so we have those, we call them the postnatal depression. So some of them have depression. So that's also a stressful. So the woman has actually gone through a stressful experience, and that's why she ends up having that a mental disorder or mental issue.
Who diagnoses rather?
Yeah.
Is it a doctor or a psychologist? The extent also of someone's mental
Okay, so
health?
the first point of call most times is always either the general practitioner. The person will go to the hospital and say, "Oh, I'm not feeling well." They've done all the medical tests and they found that, "Oh, there's nothing really wrong with you medically, physically." Then they will say, "Oh, it could actually be a psychological issue," and the person is referred to a psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is a mental health doctor, or to a psychologist. So it's either the psychiatrist or the psychologist that will do the initial assessment and will do the diagnosis. And after the diagnosis is done, that's when the patient is being referred to a mental health practitioner. In some institutions, they call them behavioral health practitioner, depending on the hospital where the person goes to.
Okay, can people recover from mental health?
Absolutely. Mental disorders are things that one can, we call it, can be managed. For some cases it can be managed. For some cases the person can actually get better and function well in the society. For the severe cases, the person will be placed on medication, probably for life, but the case can be managed and the person can still function properly in the society.
Okay, but there are some people who don't say. They'll just be there. It's another person that will get to know that something is not right with this person. Most people in the market, most people in the workplace.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, how can that be handled?
Okay, so because of the stigma attached to mental health, a lot of people don't really go to seek for help, because in their mind they're like, if I go to the hospital now, they'll think I'm mad.
That's what I said.
That's the most that
Yes.
But mental illness or mental disorder is not just about the person having schizophrenia or psychosis. So when people say somebody is mad, what they're actually referring to, that person has a schizophrenic episode or a psychotic episode, right? But because of that, a lot of people don't go to the hospital.
They don't even say.
Because of the stigma attached to it, and they hold on to themselves, and the mistake they make is that if the longer you stay away from medication, the more difficult it will be for you to go back to your pre-morbid state. And when we say pre-morbid state is the state you were before you started having that incident. So the earlier you go see a doctor, the better, because the doctor can quickly place you either on medication, or you can do therapy sessions. And when you do therapy sessions, you get better, because you're given tools and resources to help you to cope with the stress or cope with whatever it is you're going through, and you come out and you're able to function well in the society. So the major reasons people don't go for Medicare treatment is because of stigma. Then the second reason is because they don't even know what to do. They just say, I'm not feeling well, I'm hearing voices, or I'm saying things, or I feel weird, I'm having intrusive thoughts, and because they don't know what to do, they just keep quiet. And we have some other people, they go on Google to diagnose themselves, which is not right. You need to actually go see a professional, a certified professional, to do the proper diagnosis and give you your diagnosis.
We'll now get some well-researched health and dietary tips from Dr. Stella Iwago.
St. Leaf, which Yoruba call efere. There's everything I eat has St. Leaf in it. You can't go wrong with St. Leaf. Your egg, your whatever you're putting, just throw in some St. Leaf in there. You have lemongrass. Oh, flavorful lemongrass. When you're cooking and you throw in some lemongrass, whether it's in your meat, with egg, whatever, you can powder it, and you have that. You have carrot. People don't even know that carrot can be part of your spices. Your ginger. You have turmeric. You have anise seed. You have coriander. You have, there's one they call pekese. I've forgotten how the name they use. We have different spices that we use in pepper soup. There's the nutmeg. There's just a variety of spices. When you get to the market, just experiment with different spices and throw in, be generous with the spices. Once we're eating, we just put a little bit of turmeric. We are not going to get therapeutic effect from that. So when you spice your food very well, you find out that you don't have need for a lot of salt. Pepper is good, and there are different kinds of peppers. So we're just used to just grinding it and making the same old boring paste. Sometimes cut up the tatashi, throw in some green pepper, red pepper, yellow pepper, get ugu, get green, and just saute it and just let them all come together. Cut them in big, big chunks. And before you know it, your plate is really full. And you're taking a fork full of that. You find out that you might not even have time for the rice or the plantain or the yam or any of those high carbohydrate dense food. So it's really bringing in those flavors into your plate. And that really, really helps. We have a lot of local herbs that we can explore. There's the one that Igbos call oziza. It's like green, it's like black pepper, but it's actually spicier. We have the one we call oda, which is Negro pepper, which also brings in its own aromatic flavor. There is the alligator pepper. Some people put them even in their cooking. So there's a lot of flavors and textures that we can bring into our plate to increase our enjoyment, our gastronomic enjoyment of the food. It helps us to get satisfied without eating so much of the negative thing. And you cannot really go wrong with lots of vegetables. We need to bring back mushrooms. You know, one of the things that started growing in my farm is mushroom. And that brings me to the cost element. Yes, those things are not cheap. They're very expensive. But you know what? A lot of us are complaining we don't have money. But then our homes are filled with foreign flowers and fancy flowers. I tell people, you can grow these things. Mint, try throwing some mint, you can grow mint. You know, we'll have what we call the edible landscape. Edible landscape, the concept of edible landscape, which we call ediscape for short, is really growing the things you eat. Adorn your house with the things you can eat. Your fruits, your vegetables, your herbs. They serve multiple purposes. Not only will you be able to get those spices and load them into your food, get the vegetables and incorporate it into your food. Some of those herbs and spices have very pungent smell that also drives away animals. And they're also medicinal. You can grow oziza and otazi on your vine. Otazi, that's the one they use in making isewu and all those Igbo food, pepper soup, that gives it a little bit of bitter tinge. Bitter leaf is also another very powerful herb. They also serve as vegetable. So variety of this. Scent leaf is just so versatile. So you can bring that in. You know what they call abacha? They call it Igbo salad. You have the garden egg. You have the tiny, tiny garden egg seeds that you can cut up and make porridge with it to eat it with yam or whatever. Or you can make the abacha that the Igbos call abacha. They call it Igbo salad. But I said, let's leave it at abacha. Let other people learn what it is. It's a cultural, and throw in lots of vegetable, the oil bean seeds, and lots of fish. And before you know it, you have a big bowl of colorful food. But then it's actually loaded in your micro elements and all the things you need to really make a healthy plate. So we really need to revisit, take a little bit of what we're learning from Western countries, incorporate it into our own traditional meals, and voila, we're having something exotic. Oftentimes when we go for events, it's fried rice and all these fancy things. Whatever happened to a core, a pap? And then if you blend it in such a way that you retain the fiber, it makes it amazing. You can throw in some vegetables.
We need to age gracefully, and the only way you can age gracefully is to be stable. Stability workouts like core. You need to really work on your core for stability. You work on your glutes, legs workouts for mobility, so that we can move around as we age. We'll be able to move around, without any support with our grandchildren, up and down the hill, the pack, and our upper body for a whole lot of functions. So we need to make fitness a lifestyle so that we can age gracefully.
as we can monkey bar.
You know, many people have their gym rooms, so I'm sure it can work. Okay, so what's next? This rope?
So we'll do this. Let's go.
Okay, so that's 2 workouts done.
Thank you so much for being there on Better You. There is still more as you join us in our next episode. Bye for now.